Back in 2019, Carson Wentz had one of his best seasons as a pro. While the team around him wasn't great, he was able to help lead them to a playoff berth, and they weren't able to do much when they got there, but it was still a good enough season that Wentz became the highest paid quarterback in football. However, in 2020, things then quickly got off the rails. He was quite frankly awful this season, constantly turning the ball over, and the Eagles, who had just paid Carson Wentz a ton of money, were left with a dilemma. Do they keep him, or do they decide to go with the second-round pick that they spent on Jalen Hurts? While an outsider might see the second-round pick on Hurts and say, oh, they drafted Hurts because they felt like Wentz wasn't very good. Remember, keep in mind, they just paid Wentz this offseason. That's not something you do if you don't believe in your quarterback. Wentz just had his injury issues, and so they valued the backup quarterback position higher than others would. However, let's go over here. This is the first drive that Jalen Hurts really took in his NFL career. He played some spot plays here and there, but this was in a game in 2020 when the Packers were killing the Eagles 20-3. So, in relief, they decided to go with Jalen Hurts. I mean, hey, it's late in the season, Wentz isn't playing well, let's see what Hurts can do, and quite frankly, Hurts would just win the starting job. First, you saw this play, which he's essentially patented at this point, which is the go route where he's so good at that. You saw him show off his athleticism in this game, juking out defenders, and sometimes you saw both. This one, he's going to be off balance, throwing down the field for a touchdown on a 4th and 18. The game was over. They were never going to be able to really climb their way back into it. But no doubt about it, the offense looked way better once Jalen Hurts got on the field, to the point where they essentially had no choice but to see what he could do the rest of the season. He played 4 more games and was certainly up and down in those games. He did start off the first 2 games with 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, did throw only 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions in the final 2 games of the season, but it was still enough for the Eagles to decide to go with him next year, where he was able to continue to improve and ultimately win a Super Bowl, and this was the moment that we knew he was at least worth paying attention to.